In 2008, I was actually graduating university. One of the things that was very interesting was that, you're told the American dream. You go to university and you get a high-paying job afterwards. And what happened was that it was quite the opposite. You went to university and you have all this debt, 40,000, 60,000, some people even at $100,000 in debt, assuming that they're going to get a job.
I think the whole situation in the United States has started to create a disparity, a big separation between people who are wealthy and people who are becoming poorer and poorer. So we have a huge gap at this point, which continues to grow as a result of there not being any sort of stability or even distribution of what money there is right now.
Um, it was the housing bubble that created the problem in 2008. And the reports that are coming through the banking sector right now say that another wave of foreclosures is about to hit. And it's just a little bit bigger than the wave that hit in 2008. Well, that means we're going to have the same thing again. And I know how bad that was here, so it's a little scary.
If you go outside the city, I think you really see the effects of this much more. You see in the more rural areas where people are dependent upon things like agriculture, tourism, construction, all of these kind of basic things that the recession has absolutely decreased.
I find the Occupy movement very interesting. There are a lot of things that I agree with. Not so a lot of one of the main goals is that you have the richest people. The 1%, 99%, 1%. They have all the tax breaks. They get a lot of money, and they just continue being rich as a result. Of being rich, and everyone else suffers.
The interesting thing about the riots was that it seemed like there were representatives from all parts of society taking place in the riots, and that was quite unusual. It wasn't just black people, it wasn't just poor people, it wasn't just people out of work. There were even professional people, students, people who were well educated, family men, if you like.
In the Middle East, where you have dictatorships or you have these monarchies that have been in power as a result of Western influence, to allow them to do whatever they need to do, for oil or money, politics. And I think in that regard, the Arab Spring has been a good thing in the grand scheme of things. Yes, there's been loss of life. There has been, the people in the Mideast are complaining about access to food and water, whereas in the United States people are complaining that their taxes are too high. There is a big key difference between the two, and which is why the Arab Spring, I think, is fundamentally different and more important in terms of revolutionizing the entire Mideast and as a result the political process afterwards.
Yeah, the whole thing really scares me. My government has seized amazing amounts of power back home, and civil liberties have just been trampled. And there's pretty much there's only one right in the Bill of Rights that they haven't gotten rid of in the last decade, and that's the right not to have soldiers come into your home and be stationed there.
Environment around it hasn't really changed. So if people were really protesting about the economic situation, why are they not continuing to protest? Because the economic situation hasn't changed. It's probably got slightly worse.